All right. I think I messed up my little intro. I plan to have this little intro. I'm going to go ahead and show it again. We got to do it again. Welcome to the second channel of Creek Fishing Adventures. And I'm still trying to come up with a channel name for it. And I think somebody may have suggested this, but I might just go with More Creek Fishing Adventures. So we'll see how that goes. But let me get back everything set up here. And appreciate, man, people already waiting, ready to go. Appreciate that on there. 10 people already on here. So if you didn't know, this is on my main channel is Creek Fishing Adventures. This is a second channel I'm going to start. Well, I started like 3 weeks ago, so pretty new. And I plan to do some live streams. I'm going to try to do once a week, like mostly just talking to people I know and other guys I fish with, and do a quick 1 hour, pretty much live stream, 8 to 9 o'clock. I got a few questions. I'm going to ask the same questions to several of the people. And then each person I talk to, we'll talk about different stuff. So I got Josh Sharp. He's on standby. Hopefully he's got his technical difficulties worked out. His channel's Bass and Beer. We fished we fished Saturday in a tournament, and we fished the week before that together, and we got a tournament coming up. So we're going to talk about kayak tournament. I'm going to recap. I want to give you the recap from my point of view. The tournament that I was able to win on Saturday and won $500. And then Josh is going to give it from his point of view. And then we're going to talk about, we're both going to be in a state tournament coming up. So a few things going on. Let me get Josh in here. And if you have questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the comment section. I'll try to get to some of them. Let me get them up there. Hey, calm down.
I think I got it to work. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you pretty clear.
Okay, cool.
You got your headphones in?
The wireless ones would not work, so.
Oh, what do you got? Like just regular ones?
I'm just pulling a Creek Fishing Adventures.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to buy some like a headset with like a microphone where it's like right there and everything's clear. I don't think they're that expensive. This camera that I'm using, it was only like $40 or $50.
Really?
So and it's like really clear. So, anyways, but
it is.
Can you see comments and stuff, or are you just seeing us? I was just wondering what you can see off your phone. That's why you got to do it off your laptop next time. You can kind of like see more stuff.
Now I just see me. You left.
I hit the wrong button. There's a mute button that I can hit if I have to cough or something like that. Okay. All right. We're going to get into this, people. So if you got questions, put them in there. I'll go to them every once in a while. And it won't be real long. We're not going to talk real long, but try to end up around 9. And hopefully it'll be a fun time. Josh, appreciate you coming on here. And this is something I've been wanting to do for like a couple years. Talk to people like you, guys that I fish with, and we can just sit and talk, because we get to show videos and make YouTube videos, and we have them from our own perspective, but we don't really like talk about what happened or maybe like recap some of the things that really go on, a little behind the scenes stuff. So today we're going to share a little behind the scenes. I will start out with our tournament. First off, we both fish in a kayak series league. What's it called again? Yeah, but what are they called? The little groups. The groups are called something.
Just a club. I mean, that's just our each little. You've got 10Cat, you got NETKA, you've got the TVKA guys. Yeah. You've got several clubs through the state.
So I'm the club. Josh got me into it like a couple years ago. Started watching his videos, and I saw a kayak tournament. Didn't know anything about kayak tournaments, and I'm like, that looks fun. It is tough. It's long. It's a different concept of fishing if you're not used to fishing for competition. Well, I mean, some people are used to it, and then I've never did it, so it's something totally new for me.
It keeps us to be at like where we can still be competitive. Like you come from basketball, I come from boxing.
Yeah,
we enjoy fishing. We probably both started out just fishing for fun, going out, hanging out, fishing, and then we ran across these tournaments and stuff where we can still be competitive. So
that's 100% it. It's like we need that. You need competition. I think most people do. And then like me and you like sports background, we thrive on that kind of stuff. You know, we want some pressure. I love pressure. Like I want
I've gotten to a point where I'm looking for like the next tournament. Like I can't wait till the next tournament.
Like I stopped playing basketball. Well, I might try to still play a basketball league. I played one a couple of years ago with my brother, and I've got too slow where I can't compete where I want to, where I know I used to be able to, and I used to fight. And you slow down, you just know you can't do the same, so you got to find something else. You know,
you still fish though.
Yeah, fishing you can, you can always improve your skill, and it doesn't. I mean, you can. There's so much to it. I mean, you can be old or young and be good or bad, but it's mental too. Like I always tell you to slow down. You get in a hurry.
That's what killed me this weekend. 100%, 100% killed me this weekend.
Let me go ahead and get into. I'm gonna give my recap of the tournament, and then I'm gonna let you do yours.
Okay.
But I've had this cough for like a year. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna have to get it fixed. Maybe it's Mountain Dew.
It's the Mountain Dew, John.
I'm trying to get a sponsorship here. I need like a refrigerator that's just like always full. But so we have a tournament. It's called River Wars, and I like how in our group that we fish with, we every year there's a River Wars tournament where you can pick any river within a certain distance of like basically Knoxville area, and so the river I went to was the Coy River, which is close to me because I live about an hour and a half from them, but I like fishing up there because they hit a bunch of cool lakes. So I kind of fished with those, so this one was close, and it's something I was familiar with. So it's like 30 minutes from my house, maybe 25. It was pretty close to my house, and I pre-fished 2 days earlier. I haven't made the video. I haven't made any posts about this. I broke my PB spotted bass. I caught a legit giant spotted bass. It was 5 pounds, 6 ounces. It was, I couldn't believe it. Of course,
I saw it.
Caught it on the umdinger. I sent the pictures to Josh just so he would know.
His eyes were bulging out of his head.
They were. I went back and looked at the picture, and it's like, it's hard to tell how big it is, but like those eyes were like, and then I caught a 5 pound, 12 ounce largemouth. And I was like, this is the best. I'm going to have to title the video like when pre-fishing goes too good or something like that. I'm like, there's no way I'm catching one of these in the tournament. So that was Thursday. So I'm like, I know the fish are there. I was going to go fish some other places. Didn't even do it. I just went home. It was crazy. 2 days later, tournament. I go Saturday, go the same place, get started in the morning. And topwater bite was really good. I caught like 5 fish on a Chapo. Followed up, I caught 2 fish off this one bank, this one rock ledge. So this is it was the same rock ledge. It's like 100 yards long. It's the same ledge where I caught that giant spotted bass. So I get to that point. I'd already caught like 5 fish. I get there, I catch a 16 and a quarter. Follow it up 2 casts later on the Chapo, 16 and a half. Spotted bass. They explode on the Chapo. So I made a few more casts. I follow it. I go back again, like stay in the same area. I'm kind of like paddling with the current, kind of, you drift down, go back up. I come through with a dinger, catch it 18 and a half. I'm like, this is insane. I'm like, I've already got, it was like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I've already got like a super good limit. I'm like, I could win it with that. I'm like, I was, maybe not, but I was like, this is a super good limit. Like, I mean, and I already caught like 10 fish by then. So I change a couple lures, just kind of stay there for a minute, start working my way upstream with a buzz bait. Like 10 minutes later, catch a 20-inch spotted bass on a buzz bait. and that was and after that, I caught a bunch of little ones after that, but it was like boom, boom, but it happened so fast. Like I caught all these fish. Ended up with 55 inches. But like
I knew you was gonna do good too after you sent me those pictures of those other ones. I was like, he's gonna kill it. I told a couple people that too. I was like, we gotta worry about John.
I showed up. I was gonna show Alex. He's like, Josh sent me the pictures.
Yeah, I did. I said, because me and Alex fished the day before. Actually, I think whenever you sent them to me, me and Alex were headed out the next morning. Yeah, to fish a little pigeon. So I sent them to him and showed them to him. I was like, dude, John's probably gonna win. And you did.
There were so many fish there. I'm like, I knew the night before I couldn't go to sleep. I was trying to go to sleep early. I did everything else, like I was prepared. I was so prepared, had everything done, could not go to sleep. And because I knew, like, I knew the fish were there. I knew I was going to go there, catch them. And it happened. It caught them early, but like about 11 on, I probably caught 3 fish.
Really?
But I caught 10 fish in the first like 2.5 hours. And like all
I was
good
the same
fish.
way. I couldn't sleep.
Oh yeah.
Except I was thinking about which river am I going to get.
So that's the thing though. It's so much more relaxing, but it like amps you up more if you know the fish are there. And then if you don't know fish are there, you're just like worried. You're always thinking about it. But like when I played basketball, I never thought about the game ahead. I was the total opposite I am now. I've totally got like anxious and stuff where I'm the cool. People would think that I was sleeping through the day. They're like, dude, aren't you excited about the game today? I was like, I would wait to get excited. I can't get excited too early. I would be like, game day's here. I'm like, I know it. I know every game on my schedule. I'm like, I
know exactly how you are, because whenever we go stay somewhere for a big tournament, a state championship, multiple times, I'm up at 5, 4, 5. I'm leaving. You're still asleep.
Yeah,
every time.
I can't get hyped up. I have to wait. I wait, and then but most of the time I'm excited. I just don't show it. I'll just be pumped. But anyways, I got first place. I won $500. I got my second trophy, and I don't remember where I put it. So
I don't see it back there.
No, one of them's up there from last year. I haven't added them back here yet. I haven't figured out how to do it.
It looks. If y'all ain't seen it, it looks like his.
Josh
looks like that.
Josh has got
looks like that one.
Yeah,
it's a twin.
Yeah, I got what do I got one.
What
do I have? Wait, I should have 3. Oh, I got 2 up there. One's from last year, one's from this year, and then I just got my second one this year. I think it's in my truck. I was gonna take it to church Sunday morning to show the kids. I got up Sunday morning. I couldn't get up. I couldn't get out of bed. I woke up, tried to wake up. My head was killing me. I was just exhausted. I laid back down.
People don't realize what it takes out of fish in these tournaments.
I messaged my sister because she works in the children's church, and I'm like, I like an hour. I still tried to go like an hour, and I was like, I'm not gonna make it. Like I could not. There's no way I could have done it. It was crazy. So, but anyways, Josh, give me your recap of the tournament, and then we'll talk about some tournaments coming up.
My recap isn't half as exciting as yours. I mean, other than the big stripe. The big stripe was amazing.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So super pumped up the night before, went out to Matt's, loaded all of our stuff up on his truck. So when we got there, we get there early. Where we floated is like a really popular spot. So ended up not being anybody there. So all that excitement, thinking somebody was going to be there before us, didn't happen. But we did get there, and the river was it was insane. I mean, the water, I've only probably fished that river maybe once or twice ever with the water that fast. So we had to end up waiting probably an hour, hour and a half after Lines In before we even launched. And then floated down through there, got into the first creek, and caught my first fish, 16.5 inches or 16.25. So after that, I was like, oh, this is going to be a good day. And it just, man, it wasn't. Floated down through there. I was so anxious to get to these spots that I knew. The people from my channel have seen some of those videos where I caught some of those giant smallmouth in some of those holes. I caught like 5 fish one day over 19 inches of one hole. And that was one of my spots I wanted to get to. So I was like super anxious to get to these spots. And I just, I rushed all day long. I rushed, thinking about Angler of the Year, sitting in first place, knowing that there's a couple guys right behind me. I was so anxious. I had Matt with me. I told him to take his time. I was like, dude, take your time. Don't worry about me. I'm going to go on down this river and do my thing. And he was behind me catching 21.75 inch smallmouth. And I'm over here like rushing, trying to get to these spots. And it just didn't pan out. I finished, I think, 12th place. I did catch a limit though. And then I caught like a 17 or 18 pound strap.
You had some good fish. Like certain days you could have won. I mean, it wasn't like so bad that it was just,
Yeah, but a lot of guys just found some really good fish.
A lot of them, like I caught all mine early. A lot of the other guys, they all caught theirs at the end, like Matt's fish and everything. Mm-hmm. Y'all couldn't upload, but some of them guys, I looked at it early on. I was up like 7 inches, but I was like, some guys are surely going to catch up. But I was pretty confident with my 55s are pretty good. You can be beaten, but you get something like that. But that's the thing, though. You could win with 50, or you can come in 10th place with 50.
I thought it was going to take 60 in this one.
Yeah, I had 60 in pre-fishing, and I don't think I've ever done that before.
I thought it was going to take 60.
I could have had like 90 inches on 5. So when we're talking about inches, if you didn't know, every tournament's different, but our tournaments are based off length of a fish, and we do most of our tournaments we do top 3. So your biggest 3 fish go. You can upload them through the app, and you can upload it throughout the day. It has a tagging and like a location device turned on, so you can't you have to lay the fish a certain way. Your mouth has to be closed. So a lot of times people measure fish when we're talking, people measuring fish, you're holding the mouth open and you like take a tape measure down. That's going to add another inch to it compared to when we measure fish, the mouth is closed. It's pushed up against the bump board and we're going to the tail, like whatever the thing touches the tail. So when we say a 20-inch fish, that's a legit 20-inch fish, not like, oh yeah, that's a 20-inch fish guess. So whenever we measure them like that, that's a solid measurement, and that's
you see a lot of
way to.
You see a lot of guys put their fish on the boards when they take the pictures on the boards, and their mouths are wide open. They're gaining a half an inch on that fish.
Just so you know, so whenever we are talking about how long of a length, maybe you're like, oh, what's 18 is nothing. Well, when you put them on, when you actually catch a fish, put it on the board and measure it, it's bigger than you think. You know, it's easy to guess, and I do that all the time when I'm messing around. Like, oh, that's probably 18-incher. I'll put it on the board, 16.5 or something like that. It's easy to do. So,
have you noticed how good you've gotten at guessing, though? I'm telling you, I'll catch a fish and be like, that's probably 19 or so, and dude, it'll be like a 19.5-incher.
Yeah,
you get good at it if you see so many.
I did it yesterday. I went kayaking, actually caught a bunch, and I was like, all right, let's see what this fish. I said, I bet it's 2 pounds and 16 inches. I laid on the board. It was 16.25, and it was fat. And I'm like, that probably is 2 pounds. He's probably gonna be close. He's fat and big. And that's the thing. Like I caught one. Speaking of how fish different sizes, I caught one. So on the tournament, I caught one that was a 16.25. That was huge looking. Then the next one I caught was 16.5, but didn't look near as big, but it was longer. Yeah. So like when you're looking at fish, it's hard to say. And that's speaking of that, in making YouTube videos, I've had a bunch recently where people, I've had some videos where I'm talking about, I'm like, I'm guessing the weight, and they're like, dude, you're like way off. Yeah, I said it was like a 4 pound fish. They're like, that's probably a 2 pound. I'm like, how do you know? What are you? Only thing that somebody on a video is comparing it to is my chest view in my hands.
Yeah, you can't say that.
And it's distorted. Plus, you don't know how big my hands are compared to your hands.
You see a lot of these people too that do that stuff. They think they know the exact but you do see a lot of people on Facebook and all this social media. They will take pictures of these little 3 pound fish and be like, oh, I caught a 6 pounder.
Yeah.
I can't do it, man. I got to be honest. I'll weigh it. If I catch a good fish, I'm putting that sucker on the scale.
I hate when I don't have a scale whenever it's a good fish because nobody believes how big it is. Like I caught one the other day. I said, dude, it was off the bank. I wasn't even expecting, and I was like, that might be a 5 pounder. After I looked at it, I was like, it's probably 4.5. I put it in my hand, you know how, and it just covers your whole hand, the side of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then everybody's like, that's like a 2.5. But I'm like, it was a 4.5 probably. Like,
yeah,
we know by now we know what we're talking about, and there's no point in exaggerating.
We've only caught a few of them.
Yeah.
And we film everything, so it's like everything's on video. So.
But all right, Josh, I want to do I got a couple questions. First off, though, before we get into our tournament coming up, we'll kind of end it with talking about the state tournament that we got. Also, I just heard from Andrew that I am qualified for.
Did you get the message?
The other state tournament.
Yeah, the cast.
So, dude, I'm like super pumped
Kentucky
about that.
Lake.
I already put it on my calendar. We'll talk about that. Yep. So, it's pretty exciting. I'm way more excited about these things than I thought I would be.
It's fun, man.
But anyway, Josh, tell us about like how you started your YouTube channel, like how you started fishing and what made you start YouTube channel. Kind of a little bit about yourself.
All right. So started filming YouTube. Can you hear it?
No, I said thank you, Eric. Do you see the comment I put on there?
So I started filming going up to my cabin in the mountains. So before I even got into fishing, we got that property up there, and I started filming those little videos, just building, going up there camping, building fires, cooking over the fires, stuff like that. Showing people the cabin, kind of just outdoors, being outdoors, same as fishing. It's kind of the same thing. You're outdoors, you're enjoying it. So I started a little YouTube channel. Started out with a little action camera. Didn't even have a GoPro. Had a regular camera that I would shoot some B-roll with and stuff, just like everybody else, just starting. And then somehow I ended up with a little cheap, like $120 kayak, and I would put it in our pond up there and bass fish in our pond. Didn't even know what I was doing. And then Matt, my buddy Matt, looking for lunkers, he was like, we should start just going out kayak fishing and filming videos doing that. And honestly, I can't even remember exactly how it all, like how my setup was, I can't remember how I had my GoPro set up. Maybe I wore a chest piece. It's been about 3 years or so ago. And, it was still Hatcher's Cove. It was the name of my YouTube channel before.
Hatcher's
and then me
Cove?
and Matt, it was called Hatcher's Cove. Yeah. Because that's our property up there is in a cove. And then my granddad and them's their last name's Hatcher. So I called it Hatcher's Cove. If you go back to some of my old videos, you'll see the intro has all that on it. And, but Matt was like, let's start fishing and stuff. And then we'd go out and have some beers afterwards. And one day he's the one that come up with the name Bass and Beer. And we just figured, living in America, a lot of men go hunting, a lot of men go fishing, a lot of men drink beer. So we was like, let's call it Bass and Beer. Yeah. And we just kind of ran with that. And then I just got more and more into it, started doing it more and more. Not to get like all, into the sad part, but my mom ended up passing away. She was like 45 years old. That kind of messed with me. So that kind of helped me. Going out on the water fishing kind of like helped me not think about things as much. And like I said, just doing that, fishing out of a kayak. And then Eric Romines, who used to have a channel called TM Bassin. He's good friends with Alex Rudd. He was like, hey man, you should start fishing these online tournaments. And he's like, I see you catching all these big smallmouth on the river. He's like, you should start fishing these online tournaments through TinCat. And he kind of gave me some information on how to do it. And I kind of looked into it and I was like, well, yeah, I'll do it. I was like, but I don't have none of the stuff to fish the tournament. I didn't know how to do it. And he ended up giving me a catch board, or not a catch board, but a hog trough. And I broke it the first day I ever went out, broke it in half. And, but that's how it started. And I ended up winning a bunch of those online tournaments.
Yeah.
And then I ended up signing up for a regular meetup and ended up winning my very first meetup. That's when I met Eric Thomason and all those guys, all the guys that are still there now. And, but yeah, I floated the Holston and ended up winning. I don't think I've hardly won another tournament on that river since then. Yeah. I can go over there and catch giant smallmouth, but there's like something that happens that if I go over and fish a tournament, it's just don't happen for me. I don't know what it is, but that's how I got into it. And like I said, it's been about maybe 2.5, 3 years now I've been fishing the tournaments. A couple years, maybe longer than you.
Yeah, you started a year and a half right before me because you just got into it when I started following you. Yeah. And then I started, this is my second full season. I started like right when the season started, which was, I can't remember, when's I don't even remember how they started. Is it December or something like that?
Yeah, they start in like November.
Maybe November is like the first one of like the season it goes. Because right now we're in our tournament season. So we got one more tournament, the Classic.
Yeah. What is that? Which is going to determine AOI between me, Joby, Daniel Lyons. It's on the 17th.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see like what happens at the
Tellico.
End. It's all coming down.
Have you ever fished Tellico?
We did a tournament there last year. Or no, was that I don't know if I have. I've been on Tellico like one time. And
I've never been on it.
Oh, you haven't?
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, that's right. They did a Loudon and Tellico last year. And I think I missed that one.
I usually fish the river. I won't know more.
So now if it's just Tellico, which Tellico's crazy. Like there's all kinds of little streams coming into it, but I got a creek that in mind, but I also know another place that I might try just to mess around. I don't know.
It runs on up to Chihowie Dam too, right there. When we drive up to Chihowie, all that stuff you see.
From there down, yeah. It's got a lot. It's huge, really. I mean, there's all kinds of different places on it.
I heard that place is big.
Yeah, but we're used to these giant lakes though, so that's no big deal. But yeah, so I started watching Josh. So I started my channel. It's been almost 6 years now, and I don't remember how we got in contact. I think it was just we messaged each other or something about because I wanted to go on kayak floats. And I didn't really have anybody else to do it with. Like I didn't have people, and that's something I really wanted.
That was your last resort.
Yeah, I said somebody please take me. But you invited me. I don't even remember what the first thing we did was. I'm sure it was a float in the river because that was
Little Pigeon.
Yeah, it was.
And we met up there at the Bass Pro Shop. 407.
That's right. We floated the Little Pigeon. We've done it a couple times. We've done the Holston a few times, and that was something I wanted to get into. And then also I saw you doing the kayak tournaments. And I didn't. I mean, I think that's the thing about it is there's a ton of people that don't know anything about these kayak tournaments. And speaking of kayak tournaments, I didn't even know till 2 weeks ago that there was a thing that you could qualify to go for is it the Olympics, or I don't know what they call it.
It's
the
the Hobie
Olympics.
Worlds. It's the Hobie Worlds. It was over in Sweden.
It's through Hobie. There's like a world championship kayak tournament, and it just happened. I don't even know what happened at the end. I watched Christine Fisher's first video. I don't think I watched her last one.
She finished in 5th
overall.
Yeah.
5th. Wow. But it's like I didn't know there was a thing that you could qualify for a world championship. Like I just there's these Hobie tournaments I didn't even know were out there till like this year. I didn't even know that was a thing. So there's so much kayaking tournaments and fishing tournaments that it just takes getting out there and looking and finding out and meeting people and kind of leading you into how to get into it. And once you get into it, it's really easy to kind of do these things. But definitely,
they had the Hobie Worlds kind of like shut down, I think, for 2 or 3 years because of the coronavirus. They just now, I think these people had qualified a couple years ago, and they just now did it after how this virus has kind of died down a little bit. Yeah. They finally were able to go ahead and go on with that tournament. So,
but we know some of the people that are in the world championship, which was pretty cool. So I kind of brought it to my mind to kind of that's something I'm like I didn't know that was a thing. So it's pretty interesting. They were fishing for pike and perch, which I thought was really cool. It's kind of I guess you got to pick something to fish for. It was like I didn't think about it being something else. But I want to catch those perch up there. Those perch gets huge. I think it'd be fun to fish. They're fishing for them with like 3-inch swim baits and stuff.
Yeah,
I like pretty fun. All right, let's go to let's see here. We're going to talk real quick about our state tournament. So we were able to qualify for. There's different state tournaments. The one we're doing this weekend on Chickamauga is through B.A.S.S Nation. Now most people will recognize that name, B.A.S S. B.A.S.S. Through like boat fishing and stuff. Well, they've started like I don't even know how this works, but they got a kayak fishing circuit thing that you can qualify for. And because of our points of having enough points and being close to winning a lot of tournaments, we're able to make it into that. And then we also made it to one is for a cast. I don't know which one's higher or how they even rank this stuff. I don't know.
The B.A.S.S Nation, the Tennessee B.A.S.S Nation, how you qualify for that? It's through the state of Tennessee. They have like 5 or 6 tournaments through the entire state. That's everybody in the state of Tennessee. If you're a kayak angler, you have all the right stuff. You can sign up and fish those tournaments. So you can qualify for that through those. You can finish in like the top 20 from each tournament, or if you're in the top 3 or so in points through your local club, which is how me and you, or I think is how we qualified for it.
Yeah.
You may have qualified for it through Douglas. I can't remember, but
no, I didn't do good, and I know you didn't enter it.
So I didn't even fish one this year, but I entered it through, or I was able to fish it through the points through the our local club, and it rolled down to you on there. And then the Cass State Championship, what that is in Tennessee, each region of Tennessee, you have your local clubs. Like ours is 10 cap. Obviously, the top 10 from each club is going to qualify for a state championship, which is the Cass State Championship on Kentucky Lake. So that's how, so you'll have the best guys from each club throughout each region of the state. Well, then we're all going to go compete against each other on Kentucky
Lake. That one is just through our just through our points, basically in our own circuit, our own little club, the Cass one. Okay.
Yeah. And then the Tennessee B.A.S.S Nation is just a whole separate. And if the top people from Chickamauga this weekend, so if you can finish in the top, like we talked about on the phone yesterday, you could qualify for the B.A.S.S Nation Championship.
Nation one, yeah.
Yeah, the in Knoxville with the actual big, you could walk across the Bass.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's
the stage and everything. Yeah.
So you have to.
You have a good chance down there on Chick. You always do good.
Right.
So if you could finish like in that top 10 this weekend, dude, you could fish it in Knoxville and walk across that giant stage.
I just read that it's a top 10%. So I just signed up just now before we started, and there's 60 people already signed up. So if there ends up being 120, 130, that means 12 or 13 people can qualify for the to go onto the national one, which is in Tennessee, which is awesome. So if that happened, that would be like, crazy. I would be fishing against like the top people in the nation and like a lot of big name Like there's going to be big name people in the tournament we're in this weekend and the next one, but that nation one will have some big name people from all over.
The best. Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of fun. I mean, and that's the thing though, the tournaments can be so hit or miss. You can miss one fish or catch one fish that swings you 20 places or something like that. What are you looking at? Oh,
I was looking at that comment.
Yeah. I gotta worry about him this weekend. That's what we gotta worry about.
I need to go buy me some of those.
He's been doing pretty good down there. I had to
with those.
Yeah.
With those.
You're gonna be taking my spot.
I'm excited about this weekend.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
So tell us what we're doing this weekend. Just like a little rundown. What's all gonna happen?
So me, John, Gary, and our buddy Chris Franklin, we're getting a camp spot. We're gonna rent 2 spots side by side. We're gonna have a couple canopies. We're gonna have some coolers, a grill, and we're gonna camp out. We're gonna get down there Friday. We're gonna camp Friday night. Saturday morning's the tournament. We go back to camp. And then we get up again, fish Sunday morning, then we go to our check-in and stuff. So it's going to be super fun. Should make some awesome videos, hanging out, talking fishing. And, and the temperature is going to be down like the 60s too. So it's going to be perfect.
It was supposed to rain, and that looked like the rain moved out too. So it's going to be hot in the day, but it's going to be really nice. That weather's starting to cool down.
We're going to have some fun. Can't wait.
We've made some videos. If you've seen some of our videos from these tournaments, there's so much going on that we're only going to show a little bit. I did videos, but there's a whole lot going on, and that's why I love the way like Greg Blanchard shows his videos. He shows a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. So I like watching those kind of guys and seeing what's really happening, and I try to implement some of that into my videos to show a little bit behind the scenes what's going on. But at some point, you just got to cut stuff out because it can get really you can have really long videos of a lot of kind of boring stuff if people aren't really interested in it.
We're going to be down there 3 days. You got like 8 or 9 hours each day out on the water. Like it's so long. There's no way you got to crunch that stuff down. Depending on how good we do fishing, it'll be like 2 videos out of that trip.
Yeah. And it's fast. It's 2 days. Well, we meet up Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. Both of them are 8-hour fishing days. So you fish 8 hours, you're wore out. You have a meet up Saturday night. They feed us. We'll check in, and then and it starts at 6 in the morning again Sunday. So it's 6 to 2 or whatever it is, 2:30, whatever. And maybe 6:30 or 7. I don't know. The days are getting lighter later, but anyways, it's cracking on, and you got to get up and have everything ready to go. So you got to have all your fishing gear, both 2 days in a row, 8 hours of fishing. It's I don't know how some of these guys do it, and they look like aren't even affected. I get exhausted from this. Like I get wore out. I think I got some kind of disease or something.
I'll go into a coma or something once we get back Sunday night. I'll probably sleep till Wednesday.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's horrible. I don't like the 2-day ones, but you're so pumped up. You're just like, you're excited about it. There's a lot of people there. So anyway, so this weekend that's coming up. If I'm behind on videos, I'm gonna try to get my video out from my tournament that I won pretty soon, because I want to get this next video out from this tournament that we're gonna do. As long as it doesn't go totally horrible and I don't catch a single fish, I'm sure I'll be able to make a video out of it. If I don't catch a single fish, that'll make a really exciting video. 2 days of fishing, and that could happen. Like I'm not gonna say it's not gonna, it's impossible. But so that, and it's in October. And it starts right before I start coaching basketball looks. So our state tournament, so it should be no interference with anything, is in October the 14th, where we go to the cast, and it's over Kentucky Lake. And
how
they've
far
already
are you from that?
Same as you probably, because it's over there. 4 hours.
Like
4 hours, I think.
Yeah, that's
I'm just south, so it's probably the same distance from you. It's good. I'm excited to see what all is planned and what all they've. I'm so glad they've taken care of like the fees, and they got a room. They got a room for us and stuff. So
you're gonna get you a nice team jersey too.
Yeah. So the one coming out is gonna. Yeah, I got mine from last year. I've never worn it.
Oh really?
Where did we do cast?
Yeah, we did Watts Bar.
That's right. I did bad. Almost all of us did from our group, except for Eric Thomason. Eric Thomason did good. I went back and looked at like the standings
He finished in like second or third, didn't he?
He was third, I think,
Seems
or
like.
maybe second. I don't remember. He was really high.
Yeah.
I was like 25th, which I guess isn't horrible. Like compared to there was 100 people in it. Do you remember what you were?
No, I never even.
What I didn't like about it wasn't your total fish from both days. It was your best 5 from both days.
Yeah,
Remember how they
I
did
remember that. Yeah, that was
so
definitely
weird.
different. Yeah.
So I was my first day. I don't think I upgraded any the second day. Like I caught.
I liked that. I liked that the way they did that.
You like
because
doing that?
because if you went out on day one and you struggled, say you caught 2 really, really good fish and you struggled the rest of the day, right? That could almost ruin your chances at the tournament. That's it.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't win on day one, but you can definitely lose it on day one. So say you catch 2 really good fish on day one, you can make up for that on day 2. All you gotta do is catch 3 more really good fish. I definitely like that. I think that definitely makes it a little more competitive.
Like I like the fact that I just like going and catching fish. I think I do better at just trying to catch fish. Where that format, it's like you need to target bigger. You need to get those bigger fish because so I could have 5 15s one day and 5 15s the next day, and another guy could have 5 total fish, but all his are 16s, and he wins.
Sure.
But I caught more fish, but he caught just bigger. But
that's true.
But this weekend it's the total of 5 and 5.
Oh, is it? It's how it is.
This weekend, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, that's the B.A.S.S Nation event. I wonder if the Cass State Championship on Kentucky Lake will be like it was last year.
That's I don't know. That's it's just an interesting thing to do for sure. But I've been seeing a lot of other tournaments. They do 10-inch minimum. That's kind of interesting. I think it would be weird. I think it'd be kind of cool if you were like we do a lot of times. Your biggest 3 fish, and a lot of groups are like, biggest 3 fish, that's nothing. Well, sometimes it's hard to catch 3 good fish, especially like in the winter.
I like it.
I think 3's a good. Like you caught 3 good fish.
I like that. Yeah.
A lot of them do 5, but if we did go to 5, I think a minimum of 10 inches would be cool. So,
I think we did do 5 a couple years ago.
Did y'all? I've always done 3.
I think 10 cap was 5, and then they changed it to 3. I think they did a vote. They let us vote to see who wanted 5 and who wanted 3.
I've seen somewhere where somebody was saying that they may go to 4. I can't remember who's saying that.
That's weird.
I think it's I don't know. It's 5's a good round number or a good number, but 5 over 12, like several tournaments that I've done, I've had a hard time just getting 5 fish over 12 inches. Like it's happened. It's a bunch of times. Like I've had so I know a lot of people think that's nothing, but it's tough. It's a lot harder than you think it is.
Sometimes that just happens.
And you're in a kayak. And you can only fish, certain amount of area. You can't take off, go 20 miles or something like that. But you can change what you're at. But the biggest thing I like about this kayak tournaments is you can put in wherever you want to put in. So if I want to put in, like I do, which I probably will, some little ramp on a creek where most people don't even think to put in there, as long as it's public access, I can put my kayak in there and go fishing.
We know where you're going to be at.
Yeah. Oh,
sure.
I read though in the tournament coming up, you can't get out of your kayak and fish. You can't stand in the water, and unless they make some exception for it. It says in their tournament, and you can't I can't pull it up some shoals. I can't get out of the kayak to move my kayak.
Yeah.
So there's one spot that I would get my kayak and move it up, but I can't do that now. And I think it's the spot where I could catch some fish, but
some of these guys in this tournament,
I won't be able to.
Some of the guys that run this tournament were fishing. I think some of them, because I've noticed that they seem to cut some of the boundaries out in some of the rivers, and then they make rules like that where you can't go up some of the creeks. So I think some of these guys that are kind of running this tournament don't really like the river fishing, or they're scared of some of these river guys. Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, that's my personal opinion. I think they kind of are.
There's definitely plenty of area we can go to, but sometimes they will cut out some areas. You're like, why are they trimming it down so far? But some Mike's Out Fishing says outlaw electronics on kayaks. I don't think I've won. What? How many tournaments have you won on your paddle drive, not using electronics, against guys that are in motorized with thousands of dollars of electronics?
What? Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Give me a second. Little man's in here.
Let me know when you're back. All right. So a lot of people are worried about now there's electronics where it's like, your fish finder, and there's guys with like legit nice electronics that like you have on bass boats. Does it help them? It might help them some if they know how to use that. I've been able to compete in a couple tournaments, and I've never used any electronics. Is it maybe I'm missing out on some stuff though? Also, there's guys with motorized motorized kayaks, and different things like that. Where I do like it because you can travel further places, but sometimes it makes you spend too much time traveling and working across the water. But also it makes it easier to get to certain places that other people aren't getting to. So I don't know. They're going to have to make some kind of rules about it. Our group that we're in just this year allowed electric motors on kayaks, where before we didn't. And because everything's going that way, they're just making stuff for these kayaks, and they're putting a lot of the people that are out there putting a lot of money into kayaking world. So these sponsors and brands want to be a part of it. So they're giving money to set the stuff up. So that's why it's kind of driving a lot of that. I don't know.
I guarantee you some of these people out here in these kayaks have $15,000, $16,000. I mean, Look at people like Christine Fisher. They've got live scope. They've got Torpedo motors on the back of them. They've got motor guides on the front with spot lock and GPS and everything on them. So that stuff don't bother me. I mean, if you want that, put it on your kayak. I mean, who has the right to tell you can't do this? I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think you should be allowed to put a gas-powered motor on your kayak.
Yeah.
But if it's electric, why not go ahead and put your electric little motors on it and your graphs and stuff. And there's still going to be guys out there that beats you. Like, I mean, for instance, look at you. You don't have a graph or anything on your kayak. Yeah. You still win.
Yeah, and it's not like I've won. Like I'm not saying I'm awesome fisherman, but I've had a couple limits that are solid. I had like 59 inches on Chickamauga. Yep. That's a good day from anybody. I mean, I don't care. Like for 3 fish, that's a good day no matter who you are. And I had 55, which is a pretty good day. But like, yes, it's a little bit of advantage. It's not like it's night and day different though.
It may be a little more advantage to some other people. Some guys can really read those graphs better than others. I mean, maybe it helps some guys out a little more than, like for me, I like to look at the water temperature. I like to look at my depth and stuff, but I'm not really using my graph to locate those fish. I mean, I just don't. I like to look at the temps. I like to look at like where those drops offs are, if there's laydowns under the water, rocks and stuff like that, structure. That's kind of what I use my graph for.
Matt said it's distracting. It can be. And that's the thing. If you watch these other podcasts and guys that are been kayaking for years in the kayak like fishing world, they say sometimes they'll take it off because it does mess with their fishing. So I'm sure it helps at some points, but you just got to know how to manage it. Like I can stay focused the whole time on what I'm reading, what I'm seeing happening, and never have to be looking at a graph. But I might start trying a graph, or and I might see things that I didn't see before. Might pick up a couple extra fish. But then it can be distracting on it. So I think that there's going to be different levels, and I think we've talked about this with all the other guys, where there's going to be motorized kayaks only, or non-motorized kayak groups. I don't know how they could limit electronics. Like, how can they, as far as like graphs, how can they say, up to this rating of a graph?
Yeah, no, bare bones. Like right here, I fished one a couple weekends ago on the river. No electronics, period. No any motorized anything. No.
But y'all can't even use pedal drive. That's
paddle.
I'm like
just straight paddles. Paddle only. No graph. No batteries. No electronics. No motor. Nothing. Just bare bones.
But whenever we do river floats, that's the way we fish, anyways. I mean, that's how you fish a river. You don't.
I usually don't have my graph on the river.
You don't need. I mean, most time you don't need a pedal drive. I mean, you can, but you need to add something. I just added a anchor system, and dude, it worked. It helps me out way more than I thought. When in strong current, it's hard for it to anchor. It doesn't anchor that great in strong current. But in like slight current, if I catch a fish, I drop that anchor, lock it in, and I sit there, and I don't have to worry about drifting into anything. And how It's made a big difference. I think I got a 5-pound anchor on it. It's a mushroom style. I'm probably gonna have to get like a 10-pound if I'm doing like faster current. But it's
Be careful. Be careful.
I got it on my front, so I drop it
okay.
and my front points into the current.
Okay,
And
so let me give you my story on it. On the Holston, I dropped my anchor. I was in some it was pretty strong water, and I dropped my anchor. I was sitting on a hole, so it was like a pile of rocks that ran across the river, which made like a little, obviously that water flows over the top of them rocks, but behind it was a little bit deeper pocket where it started to slack off. So I dropped my anchor and I wanted to sit there. My anchor got stuck, and I was in that current. So whenever my cord tightened up, all that weight and pressure from my kayak started pulling the butt end of my kayak under the water, and then that water started flowing over into my kayak, and somehow just magically, snap of your fingers, the anchor popped loose, and the back of the kayak literally just popped back up, and I started floating. It was really scary. So I haven't used an anchor since then.
Yeah. What kind of anchor was it? Was it like a mushroom style like one, or was
it was one? It was
like
one that had like and I probably shouldn't. I know a lot of guys use like a drag chain to slow them down just to fish just a little bit slower.
That's another thing you bring up is I get as far as that concerned, I get asked a lot of times. People always say, "Why is there water in the bottom of your kayak when you're moving around? Why don't you plug it off?" Well, in pedal drive kayaks, most of them you can't plug them off. Like my kayak, there's no way to plug it off totally because the way the pedal drive sits in there. But you don't want it plugged off if you're in current, because if water gets into your kayak and you don't have those opening holes, that thing it'll just fill up and it'll be a problem like really fast.
Yeah.
I fished with a guy that in Oklahoma. We went and his kayak got turned sideways in a little rapid, just a small little rapid. It just got caught sideways and water was rushing into it, but the hole was open and it was just flowing through. If it had been, it would, because it was a pedal job they took out. If it had been filled up, that thing would have flipped like quick.
It would have been completely different. Yeah.
And not that the water was deep, but it would have flipped. He would have gone under, like probably hit rocks. So if you're doing current, you don't want you don't really want them plugged up.
And always have a life jacket on them rivers. That's a must.
Oh, for sure.
That is a must. Those rivers, man, anything could happen. I've been fortunate enough not to have any issues, but I've been with a buddy that's flipped his kayak in the dead of winter on the French Broad when it was like very dangerous, like chocolate, muddy, 19,000, and he flipped his kayak and he had a life jacket on, and it was February.
Yeah. I used to be super scared. Like, I didn't even know people kayaked in the winter. I was like, but once you get into these little bit better kayaks, you understand they're really stable. I mean, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, of course, no matter what you do. But you take precautions. You be okay, and you're gonna be fine. Like most of the time on these bigger ones, you don't have to worry. You're not. Yeah. I always thought like people kayak in the winter. I'm like, dude, they can just flip over real easy. It's not that easy to flip over.
They can in those smaller ones.
Certain things have to go wrong. Yeah, unless you're in a small kayak. If you're in a bigger kayak, you have to have like 2 or 3 things happen where you just lost your tension or something happens where you kind of gets out of whack. But anyway, so we got kayak tournaments. We're getting close to the end here. I got a couple questions I'm just going to ask Josh real quick. Recap. This is Josh Sharp, B.A.S.S and Beers channel. Thanks for him being on here tonight. I'm going to try to do a live stream. I might try to do Tuesdays. I'm trying to pick a day to do it. Just kind of a hour long. Appreciate everybody coming out here, and we've had a lot of comments, and we've had a lot of viewers. We had over 50 viewers most of the time. So
next time I'm going to do this, if you invite me back on, I'm going to do it on the laptop because I haven't felt like never. I haven't been able to look at the chat while I'm on here on my phone. So whenever I pull up the chat, I can see it, but I can't see you.
Oh, okay.
So it pulls it up over the screen. I can just barely see you.
Well, so this is a learning experience for us all. So I was telling Josh that I just purchased the whatever this thing is called, this setup here. It's a thing that you buy that allows you to be able to do these live streams with other people. And I definitely gotta get Josh back on. We talk a lot, but I gotta get some other people on here, guys that I fish with, and just talk about their channels, talk about what's going on. If one of us do good, we definitely got to recap our tournaments coming up. So hopefully somebody places top so we can brag about that.
I got my money on you, Gary. Now, if Gary's spot is good,
I hope Gary does good.
He could do really well. Franklin, you can't rule out Franklin. He's been consistent this year too. So hopefully somebody from our group does really, really good. So
that's what's crazy. Like these guys, I started fishing with these guys in the Knoxville area, the Tin Cat group, and everything else that we've done in, like they're all those. There's always a bunch of these guys that place good. Like there's so many good fishermen in it. Like not guys that are just like, yeah, they're pretty good. These guys like really know what they're talking about. That's why I'm surprised that I'm able to win anything. Both my times though, I was in the right place at the right time. Like there's just the fish were there, and that's half the battle.
Yeah.
That's another thing about fishing. Like, and then the one that I got third in was a horrible day fishing. I had to grind it out. And
is that Mountain Hill?
Yeah, I barely caught a limit. And but
I finished in fourth, right behind you.
Oh yeah, you were fourth. I was fifth.
It was
I got the picture from that, and it was a terrible day finishing. But there was like 30 people fishing, or maybe 25 on that one, and one catch just makes a difference. And that's how it is. Every catch is so important.
One upgrade for about 7 of us.
Would
have changed the entire tournament. If one of us in the top like
15-inch fish, if any of us caught one more 15-inch fish, we would have
bumped us into first. Yeah.
And that's what's so funny, how like what it comes down to. I've thought about that a lot. Is like you catch your fish. Go ahead.
Have you pre-fished for Chick?
No, I haven't been out there at all. I'm gonna go tomorrow.
That's the only thing I'm nervous about. I haven't pre-fished at all for this weekend, so
I'm gonna go tomorrow. I gotta. There's a rod I want to get. I want to go buy another rod and get a change the line in a certain setup I have. So I'm gonna get like a couple things done. But I'm gonna go tomorrow, and I don't know if I may just kayak a little bit, but I'm probably just fish a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna fish a lot, but I'm gonna go check out a couple spots, and there's 2 spots that I'm going to one of those probably. And I've fished both of them before, and I've done good in both of them before. So I'm gonna go kind of hit them. Do it.
Can you tag my channel in this live after it's over?
I got it tagged in the comments.
Somebody. I just went to the comments and somebody said that, but I don't know if you can or not.
I tried. I'll put it when I go back. I'll put it in the video description.
If not, I can just comment on the video.
Yeah,
but I just seen somebody's comment where they asked about it. So
I can't through this this thing I'm on. Yeah. So
this is so weird.
The website.
It's really wild. Sorry.
What?
It's like the way these earphones work or something. The app. It's like almost like we talk over each other. But it's super weird how we're streaming like through this program, but you're live on YouTube. But we're on like a completely different app right now looking at it.
Yeah.
It's not even – it's super cool, though. It's really awesome.
That's why I had to pay money for this. I'm hoping this channel just makes enough to pay for the fees that I'm paying for this and just get some use out of it, which it ain't really expensive, but it is kind of expensive because it's a certain –
what is it, $40 or $50?
Yeah, a month to use.
Yeah, for just one program, yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get the use out of it.
I got this. I got my – my Filmora, which I don't think I paid for that. I've already paid for it. It's already done. I got my Epidemic Sound. I got the thing that does my thumbnails. I spend like $200 or $300 a month on just like things to do YouTube videos.
Imagine what some of these guys pay to like have guys edit and film for them the entire time. But they're probably making $300,000 or $400,000 or $500,000 a year from YouTube.
Oh yeah, some of these guys. But I'm getting a filmer. That's my goal, to have a filmer one day. I think that'd be awesome. Yeah. I just like 2 days a week. Just like have them, if he could do like 2 days a week or something. Just follow me around some of the places I go. I think it'd be awesome.
You turn around. You're in the bathroom. Hey, what are you doing?
They're getting it all.
Dude, get out.
All right. Here's the wrap up. Few questions. I'm gonna work on this. So everybody that's watching, this is only my second live stream on this channel. We plan to do more. Next time Josh is on, it's gonna be so professional, you won't believe it's us. So what is your favorite lure? Oh, wait, let me phrase it. Okay, yeah, go ahead and answer that one. Then I got another question to follow up.
Favorite lure? Oh, man. That's tough.
Okay, then I'll rephrase it. What is the lure you're going to grab? Tough day of fishing. You're trying to get a bite. You're going to pick up this lure and throw it.
Ned rig.
Yeah, just
4-inch TRD. I mean, seriously, if it's tough, I'm going to pick, and in a lot of these tournaments, that's what I end up going to. If I ain't catching them on a spinner bait or a crankbait or, top water, something like that, or a jackhammer, I'm picking up a Ned rig, and you usually catch fish on it. It's kind of like you and that yum dinger.
Yeah,
you're going to catch those fish. Yeah,
I'm like it. Like if they're going to bite something, they're going to bite that. It's just, I basically fish the same way you fish a Ned rig. It's real similar.
Yeah. Yep.
What's your favorite fish to catch? So if you got to catch one fish,
smallmouth.
Yeah. From
that's
a river.
Probably a lot of people. Right? That's a lot of people. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so hard not to. Smallmouth are so fun. And it's just
especially once they're over that 4-pound mark. That's when it's like.
Wish I knew what that was like.
When they jump,
I've
do
caught like 4 over 4 pound there. I need to break a 5. Josh brought a 5-pound smallmouth this year.
I did, dude. God.
That's a big goal for me. But I've caught 2 over 5-pound spotted bass, and I've
hardly ever caught spots.
That's because you got to come down here and fish them. Like they're all in my area, and that's the thing. Where I live, we got Alabama spots like all over the place, and they get big. The state record's 7 pounds caught out of the lake here by me.
Wow.
So my 5-pound, 6 ounce. I want to know what a 7-pound looks like. Could you imagine? That'd be giant. But that's my goal. My goal is to break the state record.
Imagine a 7 or 8 pound smallmouth.
Oh no, it's crazy. I went to the TWRA like their main place in Nashville and did a podcast on their show, and they have the replica of the state record smallmouth, 11 pounds, 12 pounds.
Golly.
It's so big. It doesn't look real. It's not. You can't even describe how it's like that tall. Okay, so it's like that tall. That it's just like you've never seen a fish that like a smallmouth that big. So
I mean, I can't wait to get my 9-pound largemouth up there. I can't imagine an 11-pound smallmouth. That's unbelievable because my largemouth is so huge. I couldn't imagine. Like over 2 pounds bigger.
All right, last question. And we're gonna wrap this up. Come on, right on time. We're gonna get an hour in. That's my goal. We'll do an hour. Boom. And I'll ask Josh if he has anything to say at the end. But all right. So this is the question that I'm going to ask everybody. This is the least one question that I know I'm going to ask everybody because it's just I think I messaged you this, so you kind of had an idea. You can take this anywhere you want to take it, like a different time zone, or I mean a different time of the future or past, or how long, whatever. If money and time was no option, what is your all-time bucket list fishing trip, like your all-time fishing trip that you want to do? There's not a time limit. There's money option. It could however you want to answer it.
So when you asked me that earlier, I was thinking, and I couldn't think of nowhere that I actually have like a bucket list place. I really don't.
Yeah.
But if money wasn't a problem, so if I had so much money I could do whatever I wanted, honestly, I would probably buy a little Winnebago or some type of camper. I'd pack up the family and just travel and go fishing. Like I would involve them so we could all be together.
Yeah.
We could travel, and I would probably and what pops up in my mind is more like kind of like your style of fishing. I picture myself fishing like Colorado or somewhere like that, traveling through fishing these little small streams in places like with smallmouth and stuff like that. If money was on an option, that's what I would do. I would buy me some type of Winnebago that we could, not a big one, but we could all fit in it and just travel. And I would just drive and just go pull up Google Earth, kind of like you do, and just look and find these really remote, cool places and get out and fish them. I mean, that's what I would do. Honestly.
You basically took my answer. So I answered this I asked Ethan, the online outdoorsman, like 2 weeks ago when I had him on. So this is the second podcast. If people are out there looking for more, I got one other podcast I've done. Or I don't know why I'm calling it a podcast. Everything's called a podcast these days. It's just
just alive.
We're just talking. We're talking for an hour. But yeah, mine is to drive across the country and stop at every creek and fish it. So it's going to take this is like a 20-year process. But I would just never stop. I would drive across and just always, like every place I saw, I want to stop and fish there. But peacock bass and Amazon, that's on light tackle. You can't catch them on light tackle.
That would be awesome. Thanks, Mike.
I tried to do ultralight fishing in Florida when I went down there, and there's just like lily pads like everywhere. So I hooked like a 1 pound peacock bass on 4 pound line. He just peels off drag, wraps it around a like a lily pad, and I never got him in. I was like, well, that's the last time I'm doing that. So you can't fish like light stuff. I even used my medium bass rod, and it was underpowered. I was having to go like my medium heavy with like 30-pound
So do
braid.
they fight harder than smallmouth?
Yeah, I think they do.
That is a bucket list fish. I would like to catch me one of those big old peacock. It ain't got to be an Amazon peacock. I'd like to catch like an 8 pounder, 7 or 8 pounder from like Florida or somewhere, wherever they're at.
The thing is, like, you go catch a 2 pounder, and it's insane. A 2.5 pound, 2 or 3 pounder. There's like tons of those size. I've never caught anything bigger than 3 probably, or 3.5. But I've caught tons of like 1.5, 2 pounds, and they just slam your lure so hard. It is one of the craziest like fish to catch. Like I couldn't believe it. It was so different than anything I'm used to. Because also I go down there in the wintertime. So I went down there in December when everything around us bites so soft. You know how it is. You like you felt the little tech. You're like, oh, what was that? It was a 2 pound fish. Or and it like kind of comes up slow. They're just like everything down there is just wired differently. It's like saltwater fish.
Well, it's still probably like 70 down there in the winter, ain't it?
Yeah, you're still sweating down there.
Dang, yeah. So they're still wide open.
Yeah.
They don't even know what it's like to be lethargic.
No, they get lethargic when it gets below 70. Like if it's a night where it gets down to 60, they like they shut down. But like it's crazy. So I've been in there 3 times now. It's definitely one of the most fun things I've ever gotten to do through for my YouTube. But Josh, give us really quick where people can find you and your channel name and all that.
Bass and Beer on YouTube. Be sure to head over, check it out, subscribe. It's J Sharp Bass and Beer on Instagram, and then just Facebook. You know, Bass and Beer, Josh Sharp. You know, you can find it on there. You probably see me on some of John's stuff too. Yeah,
you live in the Knoxville area, right?
Yep.
And you fish fish kayak, mainly kayak fish. He's done, you do creek fishing and other stuff too, and jet boat fishing. I ran into a guy. I ran into a guy Saturday when I was loading my kayak into where I was fishing. He said, I recognize you. I just started watching your videos. He goes, you know Josh, right? He goes, I fished I used to fish the jet boat tournaments. I ain't seen him up there in a while. So it was a guy. He was down there fishing
with me.
He was down there fishing where I'm at. I don't know if he moved or what, but he's like, yeah, we used to do the jet boat tournaments. I ain't seen him in a while. I don't know. I didn't catch his name, but it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Kind of funny to see.
The jet boat tournaments were super fun. I said the jet boat tournaments those were fun, man. Those were a blast.
That does look awesome. I've never been in a jet boat. I definitely want to do that sometime. But so I recently bought a little Bass Raider, like just pond prowler type boat. You know? Huh? You're buying? I
said buy one.
I did. Oh, buy a jet boat.
A jet boat. Yeah.
Yeah,
dude, we have some fun on that thing, man.
When I hit about 250,000 subscribers and get a couple more deals, then
they are
maybe I can afford
They're
that.
expensive. They're expensive.
Everything's expensive. Like my biggest thing is I want to go on these trips, and that's the thing that costs the most money. If I just go,
you can buy those jet boats with like the thick rubber pad on the bottom of them. They got like this big thick rubber pad that covers the entire bottom of the boat, so you can just. I mean, me and Bubba's hit those. Yes, me and Bubba's we've hit those shows running 35 miles an hour, and I mean literally probably 8 or 9 inches, and it's scary. I'm like, Bubba, dude, there's a big rock, and he's just like, boom, right over it. Don't even slow down. But you can't. You have to stay up on plane, man, and you can run through inches of water. Probably stuff that we can't even float through in a kayak. We've ran over the top of it in that jet boat.
Yeah,
that we would hit. That we actually hit the bottom. Yeah, it's incredible.
What's that guy's name that's got the little bitty jet boats? I don't know why I got to think of this right now. He ran up the Ocoee over here by me. Bubba? Is it Bubba something? Or he's got like a real redneck name. Cletus McFarlane.
I haven't seen that.
McFarlane. He does like car stuff. I don't really know a lot of his stuff, but he got these like tiny little jet boats. They ran all the way up the Ocoee when the water was like off, and they were just zipping up current. Like it was crazy. Like people around here saw it, and like he's a big YouTuber, but does all kinds of crazy things. But all right, we're gonna end it up here, and go over and find Josh's channel. It's easy to find. We'll put the information in. One more cough for the road. Josh, appreciate you coming on here. Thanks for everybody watching. Sir. We got 50 people watching right now. Hour and 4 minutes. This thing worked out great. I'm super pumped. Like I said, if you missed out, we're fishing 2-day tournament coming up. We're gonna be hanging out. Gary's texting me right now, so we're like a campsite. We're gonna be cooking some food, hanging out, telling lies, stuff like that. All the good stuff. Hopefully, the 4 dudes, y'all 3 guys, like us 4,
drinking Mountain Dews.
Yeah, if one of us 4 is not in the top 10, I actually will be surprised. Like, I don't think I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna do good or not. I always think I'm going to.
I got my money on you.
Everybody thinks that, but Josh, Chris, and Gary like easily can like win or be in the top 10. So, and I'm not just saying that. That's a fact. So stay tuned. Hopefully next Tuesday I'll try to do another one. Maybe I'll have somebody on here. I'm not sure. I may just recap like all the tournaments that I've gone on and all the things coming up. But we'll definitely have Josh back on, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in a couple of days. And I appreciate everybody. Josh, hang on there for a second. We're going to end it out here. Everybody, thanks for watching. Oh, let me look at this camera. Everybody, thanks for watching.